everyone. Welcome back to another Friday night of Let's Talk Benchrest. And we got some good topics tonight for you. Hopefully, we can not be outlaws and we can stay on tonight and not get booted off. I see Hasbro over there in the side chat. He couldn't be on tonight. He is he's on just for a little bit in the side chat, and he says he is dead beat. And I understand he's moving his mom and yeah, I wouldn't want to be moving anybody right now. That moving's for the birds. So I feel for you, brother. I hope you get it all done and get some rest. But we'll go ahead and start bringing people on the stage here and introducing them one at a time. And glad you guys are over here in the side chat, and I look forward to tonight's discussions. So up first, we got Rimfire Dave. How was your week, buddy?
It's been a very busy week and very windy and rainy, so I haven't been getting much shooting done, but I hope to get some done this coming week, and it's good to be here tonight. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, glad to have you, brother. Thanks for being here.
You're on TV.
Up next, we got John Fox from Lead Fever. How's your week been, buddy?
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. Just living back here in the edge of the woods and trying to battle the wind. Hanging in there.
It's windy over here, too. We've had some storms rolling through, knocked some tree limbs down, and got pretty nasty there for a minute. It's settled down right now for a minute, but it's calling for storms all night and rain tomorrow, and it's going to make for a wet weekend. So, all right, up next we got Justin Lowe. How's your week been, buddy?
Been busy this week. Like Chad said, it's had bad weather, last few days. Just waiting for the wind to quit blowing so we can do some shooting.
All right. Well, thanks for being on here again. And up next, we got Minnesota Mike.
Is it?
Evening, everybody. It's kind of same here. Lots of wind. Had a few nice days, pleasant weather, nice and warm, and then it's dropped right back down into the 40s, and we're getting a lot of rain, but that's good. We need the moisture. It was a light winter with the snow, so we need the water in the lakes and streams. But hoping to get out, do some shooting or some honeydew chores this weekend.
You're doing honeydew chores.
I'd rather do the shooting.
Yeah, if I don't get the honeydew chores done, the shooting ain't gonna happen either.
Yeah, I hear you. Got Kenny over there with Eagle Eye Shooting saying hello, and he's asking if we're out of the YouTube jail. Yeah, for now we are. We'll see how that goes. But up next we got Southern Rifle. He's having a few little internet issues, but maybe we can keep him in here this time. There's George. How you, George?
I don't.
Okay, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. You getting that weather down your way?
I've got a lot of lag here. Yeah, that's probably why we got this lag, or why I have lag anyway.
I'd say so. Somebody's got some
So,
volume in the
keep up.
background, getting a little feedback. All right, up next we got American Hillbilly.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing this evening?
All right, up next we got American Hillbilly. Yep.
Well, somebody's got their phone or something on in the background.
Yeah, it's playing feedback.
Somebody's got their phone or something on in the background.
Is your phone interfering?
All right, so last week we had a little incident, and I think I know what happened. We didn't get any strikes against us. We just got taken off the air, and we couldn't go back on that night. But we are back, and funny story. The day that I checked to see if I was okay to get back on, I created a live stream on StreamYard, and it allowed me to create it, and then I deleted it off of StreamYard, but I didn't think to go and delete it from YouTube. So Boomstick sends me a message and says, "Hey man, did you know you got a live?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a live." I said, "I created one as a test session, and then I deleted it right back off StreamYard." And he goes, "Well, it didn't delete from YouTube." He said, "Me and Pick and several others over here having a conversation." So they had a side chat conversation going on a live that I wasn't even present for. So, but I think, guys, what happened after going back and looking, I think pricing was the issue. There was some prices mentioned, and that's a no-no. So going forward, just make sure we're not trying to sell anything here. We're just having some discussions about Benchrest and experiences, and we can't we can't share prices. We can't refer anybody to merchants. We can't handle firearms. So that's not what we're here to do. We're just here to have a discussion about all the above, but can't make any referrals or suggestions as far as the dollars and cents. So um, we we did get to complete our show last week by moving to another stream, and we did get through our ammo topics. So we're just going to move on into the next topics that I had. Um, we're we're going to talk about barrel tuners and um, um, other ways that you might tune your rifle in. So, first off, do you have or do you use tuners uh, or Bluetooth tubes? And if so, you can tell us a little bit about them. Um, I do have one. I don't even remember what rifle I bought it for. I've went through so many, but I had a rifle that wouldn't shoot, and that was my last resort was to try a tuner and see if I could dial it in. And I got a Harrell's tuner, and when I got it in, it wouldn't fit my barrel. So Justin had to mill it out for me to fit my barrel, and he milled it out to where it fit on there perfectly. And it was almost so tight I didn't even have to use the screw to lock it on. It went on there so snug. But just by putting that tuner on the end of the barrel and leaving it set at 0, it changed the accuracy of that rifle daylight to dark. I mean, it started shooting lights out. So it did work, but I didn't have to mess with the settings on it at all. It was just the fact that I added something on the end of the barrel and it changed the whole harmonics of the barrel. So I do have one. It's not in that configuration anymore, and I'm putting together the pieces to build a custom rifle. So I have that set aside for my custom rifle, um, in case I want to put it on there. So, Justin, have you had any tuner experiences?
Um, I have not. Just the one I, fitted for you, and playing with yours is. Chad.
You froze up for a second.
All right, somebody had muted me. Okay, so start back over there. So I don't have any tuners. Just the experience of messing with yours and fitting it is all the experience I have with a tuner. So the classes that I shoot, if you use the tuner, it throws you an unlimited class, as most matches. So, that's one of the major reasons why I haven't fooled with a tuner.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Have you? I know you've got experience with tuners. Tell us all about it.
I have mid barrel tuners, I have collars, I have sliding tuners, I have Harrell tuners, I have Hahn tuners, I have homemade tuners, I try them all, and I use them on every gun that they're allowed on. I'm a firm believer in the tuner. So they definitely help. But the downfall on a tuner is they have to be constantly adjusted and tuned because of the temperatures, weather conditions, and ammunition. It's hard to get one that'll work with two or three different types of ammo. So just be aware if you buy a tuner, all ammo is not going to work in it, and all tuners aren't going to work like you think.
All right, we'll move down to John with lead fever. What's your experience with tuners, buddy?
Well, this is all pretty new to me. Like I said, all my experience before was with, high-powered rifles and iron sights. So this 22 target shooting is new to me. But I have tried the shaft collars on my Tika, and it actually made a huge difference. And I think that's attributed to the fact that it's a slimmer profile barrel. It has more of a chance to actually vibrate when you shoot it because it's not as rigid. And what I found was I just took four of the shaft collars and I put them at the very end of the muzzle, all of them bunched up together. After I got three on there, it got to where it was shooting pretty much anything decent. Really good ammo, it would shoot good without them. But even the cheaper stuff, it tightened up the groups. You're still going to get a few flyers. But I just went ahead and put all four of them on there. The fourth one didn't make the groups get any bigger. It didn't make any difference. But it has helped my gun. It's shooting really good with them on there. And that's about my experience with tuners. I don't have a lot of experience. I have researched them and I do know that they work. But I don't really feel like that I want to chase different ammos and different settings and stuff. I want to find what works and try to stick with that.
George is falling off, and he's back.
There he is.
Yeah. Hillbilly, have you had any experience with tuners?
Mainly just a guitar tuner,
Yeah.
for the most part. But we did have a shooting one time early in the morning. I slid a couple donuts over the barrel, and that did make a difference until I ate one of them. But
Yeah. Enough donuts on there to create the dead spot, huh?
you betcha.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just don't use the glazed or the chocolate.
Yeah.
Makes a mess.
What about you, Mike?
Well, I'm with Boomstick. I ain't got no Kenwoods, but I got a bunch of Pioneers, a Sansui, and two Marantzes, because I collect vintage audio equipment as well. So yeah, I like my tuners. Yep. Can't get a good radio station when the weather's bad, but if you tune it just right, comes right in. So
Yeah, I kind of figured this topic, not everybody would have something to add in there, but I think old George does. And George fell off.
I think it's just the lag again, or no, it looks like he froze.
No, his picture went away.
I see it still.
Oh, there he is.
There you go, George. Now we can see you. Now I think you can talk.
What was your question? I heard you say something, and everything went.
What was your experience with tuners? Yeah, he's got a bad lag.
Have you used any tuners, George?
All right. Well, so I guess we'll move on to the next topic. George, we got such a lag. I don't think we're not having any luck keeping up with each other. I'll try it one more time. Have you tried any barrel tuners? Nope. All right. So the next topic is what about mid-barrel tuners? Have you ever tried the clamp style tuners in the center of the barrel? And I've never tried one. I've tried the tuner on the end of the barrel, but I've never tried a mid-barrel tuner. And I'm hoping maybe Dave can enlighten us to how those things work. Um, Justin, have you ever played with a mid-barrel tuner? Nope.
I've saw them, know what they are, but
Yeah.
no
I know.
experience.
I know. Me and Justin went to a match one time, uh, a ABRA
Yeah.
match, and a lot of people had them. So, and it was those custom built rifles, which we've not had a chance to own one yet, but we're
It was
working
all
on that.
unlimited class guns that
Yeah,
had them.
right. Unlimited guns. So, Dave, tell us about a mid-barrel tuner, please.
All right, I'll tell you everything I know. They're very, very sensitive. It seems like you move them, you move them, you move them, you move them, and you don't get no results because I think the movement is so sensitive, you know. But once you get the spot, they work. But it's a lot of, shoot a couple shots, move it, shoot a couple shots, move it. That's why I just stick with the tutors on the end. I have them, and I'm going to send it to somebody one of these days, or wait till you come up and just give it to you. And they're just, in my opinion, they're very hard to get adjusted where you see a difference.
So,
Uh,
What's the theory behind it, Dave? What's the reasoning for the mid barrel tuner?
well, they feel they can.
Harmonics.
Exactly. They feel they can get it just a little bit better. You know, guys will shoot a group in the fives, sixes, and they mid-barrel tuner. They can get it down to the fours.
Okay.
And you remember everything they're trying to get the edge over the next guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have one down there, and I've tried it on a lot of guns, and it seems like once you get it there, the next day you go out and it's right back to shooting fives again. So it's a lot of effort and a lot of time with a mid-barrel tuner.
I'll be able to tell you more about them not too long from now because I got a gun in layaway that was built by Gene Davis in Ohio, and it has a mid-barrel tuner on it. And I've never had a gun with a mid-barrel tuner, but I'm fixing to see what that's all about. And someone in the side chat was asking about the limb saver dampeners. I do have a few videos out where I have the limb saver dampener and I've tried it, and it does make a difference, but I don't think I see consistency out of it. So, and I want to stop right here just for a second. I had some images here to show, and uh, here's some tuner um, images that I brought to show, and there's a Eric Cortina EC tuner, um, and this is
Harold.
that's a Harrell's tuner. That's like the one that I have. Um, and then I have the bloop tube that threads in the end of that as well. And then that
That's a
that one
Harold.
there, that one there's a
Looks
I
like a
think
Hahn.
it's called a hot shot, I think, or I
Yeah.
can't remember. It's a hot shot. And then the mid barrel tuner that we're talking about is that right there. So it goes on the
Yes,
goes
that's
on.
what they look like.
Yep.
And there's a rubber insert inside of them, or
Yep.
O-rings. Some of them
Yep.
have O-rings.
Right.
That's
And
basically what the M1 Abrams tank has on it.
the what now?
The M1 Abrams tank uses that mid-barrel tuner on it.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second here. See if I can add this photo real quick. Is that? I'll show you the one I have in layaway.
Chad rescues rifles out of gun shops. That's his.
Yeah, they follow me
Side
home.
hustle.
Just I
Yeah.
got I'm a rimfire rescue. Uh,
Some people
unfortunately,
rescue animals. Chad
Yeah.
rescues 22s.
Yeah, he
unfortunately,
rehomes them.
I work out of town and I come home on Thursdays and I think of places to stop to just look. And when I go in there and look, I just sometimes I can't walk away without bringing something with me. You
I
guys
feel
know how
sorry
that
for him.
is. You know how that is, right? So
Yeah,
here
all those
is the
mom and pop
yeah. So here's
all
what's
those
in the
mom and pop gun shop owners are out there hitting while you're at work, they're out there hitting the flea markets and the estate sales, and they're like, oh, that red-headed some gun, he's gonna be back in here. He'll pay us 2, 3 times what we're gonna pick this one up for.
no. I this So the story on this is Justin and I went and shot this ABRA match, and this little gun store right here is um, not far at all from where we shot that match. And when we shot that match, one of the giveaway prizes was a $100 gift card to this store, and I won that gift card. So I went there to redeem that gift card, and I ended up buying a shotgun off of them because I needed a shotgun to shoot trap with. And I got to thinking, there's a really good gun builder that shoots at that match, and I thought, I need to come back here and check this place every once in a while because one of his rifles may very well pop up in this store. So I went in there in hopes that I would maybe find one of his rifles someday. This ain't one of his rifles, but he did own this rifle. And so I was able to call him and he told me all about it. And this was built by Gene Davis out of Ohio, and uh, Mike bought it to get a buddy of his into shooting, and he shot it for a while, done really really good with it, and he ended up passing it on to somebody else. They shot it for a while, done really, really good with it. And then they traded it into this gun store to get them a trap shotgun. And I stumbled upon it and put it in layaway. And I don't like much of having it brought
Bring it
home.
home.
So, yeah, it's about to get out of hock.
Nice.
But when I called Mike to ask him about the rifle, he said, "If you don't buy it, I'm on my way down there." And I was like, "Well, it's already in layaway, so too bad." Uh, so that one will be coming to Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies very very soon.
Um,
And
I
that
gotta
is
say something,
that's on an
Chad.
Anschutz. Oh, go ahead.
That calculator sitting there on the table beside that gun, is that your own? Is that what they keep for you to keep keep track of?
Yeah.
Yeah, got his own calculator there.
They pull
Yeah.
all the paper IOUs out of the till.
Well, when I came in the store, that calculator had smoke coming off the buttons. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's a Anschutz 54 action.
when I leave, the smoke
Uh,
out. That thing has the
And it's got the Harold's tuner on the end of it, mid barrel tuner, uh, and it's got Gene Davis's name stamped right in the top of the barrel.
Wow.
So I can't wait to bring it home. I
Yeah,
hope it
Reverse
shoots.
paper barrel too.
I hope it shoots as good as that Calfee rifle. That'd be all right. So moving on. Mike, mid barrel tuner? No.
Yeah, it's duct tape on the one screw budget Mark II. It's the only thing I got that's mid barrel on anything that I got.
That is. You laugh, but that's almost the same concept.
Yeah. Except the duct tape on mine is what's holding it down over in that spot. So But a lot of people,
Uh,
a lot of people, when I did that and didn't explain why at first that it was just on there were a lot of comments on there that people were asking, are you tuning the barrel by putting that duct tape on? Because it probably is a thing. So,
Hillbilly, you got a pass sign on this one.
Yeah, I think so. If I can borrow George's sign there.
Yeah. Uh, John, I know you've played around with those shaft collars. Have you ever tried them at the midpoint of the barrel instead of the end?
Yeah, I moved them around on the barrel in all different locations and different combinations of numbers of them. And for me, it didn't do much at all unless they were all at the end of the barrel. Once I got them all at the end of the barrel, it really
Yeah, that's what I
really
just
changed the
explained
point
to
of
him.
impact and
Going to bed.
got the group.
All right, you give me a kiss.
Oh,
Everybody saw it. Watch. Here it comes. That's the
Yeah.
boss.
we got the kiss cam on the. Let's talk
On the
Benchrest
live
now.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, on a live show.
Well, I was calling him Super Dave when I start calling him Hot Lips Dave now.
Yeah, Hot Lips Dave. Yeah. So Tommy Boy has a question in
Under
the
the
side
water.
chat. He says, "What barrel blanks you guys like to use?" I think in talking to Rimfire Dave up here that likes to build rifles quite often, he says buy whatever you can find because there's a there's a wait time on all of them, and it could take you when you order a barrel blank, it could take you 10 to 12 weeks just to get a barrel in some cases, but. Uh, I don't know. Justin up there, he likes to go and look at last year's stats and see what barrels was winning the competitions. So that's how he chooses his barrel. But I don't want to leave George behind. I'm going to try him one more time. George, have you tried mid barrel tuners?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
And
tell us a little bit about
I'm with Dave on that. You can keep them.
You can keep them.
Thank you, George.
Too finicky, huh?
Yep.
Yep. So
Back up and ask him the first question, Chad, now that he's with us.
yeah, the first question was, have you ever used a barrel tuner at all on the end, and did it work for you, or tell us about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Got one now. Well, I got it loaned out, but a Hohen 4000 is usually what I use. Yeah, they're a must for a 22. Absolutely, because it won't make your gun shoot. Well, it won't make bad ammo shoot better, but it'll make good ammo a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah, it's a must in 22.
So I do have another barrel tuner, but it's on a centerfire rifle, and I have a Hawa 1500 and 6.5 Creedmoor that came in a Oryx MDT chassis, and I got the Eric Cortina EC tuner, and um, the reason I brought that up, centerfire, is the next question was, what's your process for dialing in a tuner? Do you typically find an ammo that works really good and then try to tune that on in, or do you just
Thanks,
try
buddy.
to? So I worked up a load for my rifle on my centerfire. Like I said, for rimfire, I just put the tuner on. It was at 0, and it changed everything. And I played around with it after that, and it really didn't change much. So I just left it at 0. But centerfire, on the other hand, I had this 6.5, and I still have it. I worked up a load that I was hand loading, and it shot really good at 100, but I felt like, people were telling me they were getting one whole bug hose of 6.5, and I just wasn't there. I mean, I was probably shooting half-inch groups at 100, and I saw a bunch of Eric Cortina's videos, and he was talking about his tuner, so I said, I'm gonna try one. So I got it. I put it on, followed his instructions, I set it all the way back to 0, and put me a target out there, and I started going up in increments of 2. And I used the same ammo that I'd hand loaded that was already working close for me. I just wanted to get it tighter. And I shot, starting on 0, I shot a 3-shot group, and it didn't work. And I kept bumping it out 2 at a time. And when I got to setting 8, I shot 3 shots at 100 that are all in the same hole. I mean, literally, you cannot get them any tighter. And when I went past 8 to 10, they come back open just a little bit, but they come back open. Then I went on out to 2 more, and it opened up a little more. And then I went back to 8 just to verify that it wasn't a fluke. And when I put it back to 8, it drilled them again. So for a centerfire rifle, I have definitely seen the tuner change the nodes of the barrel to where it works. And George sent me a link earlier, and I didn't know about sharing a link here on a live, so I'm not going to do that. As far as like blowing it up and putting it on screen, but I do have it in a banner, and I'll stick it on a banner, and anybody that wants to go read it, it is a very good read. Um, it is varmintowl.com. And on the side, you click on 22 LR rifle and tuner, and he has a multiple page article about tuners, how they work. He has illustrated articles of how the barrel works. So it's really, you guys were joking about guitar tuners, but that's what this web page made me think about when I watched these illustrations of the barrel. When you shoot that gun, that barrel, it does this. Well, if you think about playing a guitar, when you stick your finger on that string, you change that, and that's exactly what you're doing with a tuner. You're changing the settings on that tuner, and it changes the reactions of that barrel. And that's that was a very good read, George. I appreciate that you sending that to me. And anybody wants to check that out, it's floating across the banner on the bottom, Varmint Owl, and that's a very good article about barrel tuners.
It is. He got a lot of good information on there about a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Some of it's a little hard to read, but if you like me, you just slow down and pay attention, and you'll get something out of it.
So, Dave, when you start out with a barrel tuner, what do you do? Do you start at 0 and work your way out, or
Actually, I start in the middle and work 2 before and 2 above, and then 4, and then each side, and then move it all the way till I find the spot, just like you do, 2 or 3 shots. And when you find it, you'll know it. It'll be right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't start at 0. I don't know why I start in the middle. Just something I do. But it don't matter where you start as long as you keep moving, because you'll know when you find it. It'll be right. It'll close it right up.
Well,
Yep.
Dave, it's the same as looking at the end of the book before you start reading the beginning of it. Right?
Well, I always went to the end, hillbilly, to see if there was an
See
outline
what
of
it
the
is.
whole. Yeah, if there's an outline of the whole book, then I'll just read the outline. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Then decide if
Anyway.
it's worth reading, huh?
So, George, you got experience with barrel tuners. Where do you start at?
Well, I'm almost like Dave. Like I use the Hohen tuners and that type, like was on that picture of that gun you showed on the end of it there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why, but it seems like to me, if you start at 250 on the dial, you're just about almost there already. I don't know why. That's just where I start.
Hasbro's calling it a night. He's going to bed. Good night, Hasbro. Thanks for
Good night,
jumping on with
Hasbro.
us.
Night,
It
buddy.
has.
Hi to Dwayne out there.
Yeah.
Let me know when you want to call it the side chat too, and
Yeah, we can do that now if you want to.
whenever
Anybody,
you're ready, buddy.
anybody wants their name called out in the side chat, let's type in the word tuner. TUNER.
Like as in Tina
I
Turner.
can read side chat, but I ain't gonna attempt to get in it again because last
We're
time I
gonna
did,
call
it kicked me off. So
Well, we'll call your name out first. George was in there first.
all right.
All right, we'll give everybody just a second to bring those on. And Mike, I know you haven't used them, but have we piqued your interest in barrel tuners at all?
Well, as close to a barrel tuner as I've come, and effectively it is. The two Banish suppressors, 22 suppressors I have for my B14, I bought a second of the same exact tuner because it made that rifle shoot so much better. And after 2+ years of shooting that, and I don't shoot it nearly as much as I used to, but uh, leading up to and before any of this YouTube stuff that I got into of shooting it, I knew that to be true. To a point. And I've got a method worked out where I've got a second one and I've got to have one that's fouled with about 100 rounds through it. And then all of a sudden it makes that rifle or that barrel shine. And it's good till it's got about 400 rounds through that can. And when I break it apart and all the carbon falls out of it, and I put it in my sonic tuner, I've got another one that I keep pre-fouled so I can just slap it on and I kind of got almost instant results. But if I clean them both and like scrub the carbon out of the titanium, uh, if I do that type of stuff, it is problematic as far as the accuracy when it's clean. It takes a little bit of tuning to make the barrel accurate. So
That is interesting. That
yeah.
who would have thought that the weight of the carbon could change all? I mean, I've seen differences in my rifle just by adding the can on, but I never thought about the can getting heavier as you shoot it. I guess it does.
This,
Yeah.
this is it's 100% titanium can. All the internals, the tube,
Baffles.
the end caps, so it doesn't weigh much. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I mean, I mean, it don't have to weigh much. I mean, like just as much as putting your finger on the
yeah.
barrel out there can change everything. So uh, that's here they go with it, buddy. They're rolling on. You're muted, buddy.
Of course I am. Oh man.
Sorry for those you couldn't hear.
All right, we'll get back up here and we got MN, shooting sports starting off here. We got Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. We got Dwayne 7834. We got Vince Ratliff. We got living in Southwest Virginia, 1965, Steve. We also have Ron 2A Matters. We got Fuku YT out there. Says you can tune a fish. We got Ronald Eastman. We got Lead Fever. So we got Dwayne out there. Got Tommy Boy. J Delta. See, we also have Helping Man. Rimfire Super Dave out there. We got CW Longshot. We got Darren Harris out there. And we also have Randy K. Good to see you on here too, buddy. And see, I think that's everybody. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. He didn't put it in, but we also have see Mr. Bob out there, Mr. Bob Dabalina, as my wife likes to say. We also have Eagle Eye Shooting Sports out there. Good to see everybody tonight.
Yeah, and we got George over there from Southern
And
Rifle.
then we got George. Of
Hey,
course.
I wanna bring something up here. So we had the drawing last week, and the winner was living in
West
southwestern
Virginia.
Virginia. It's not West Virginia. He lives in southwestern Virginia. So he told me that in an email when he sent me his address. So and just want to let him know that I packaged that up and I was going to take it to work with me on Monday and ship it. I took the box downstairs. When I put my boots on, I left the box set there. So your package got shipped out this morning and it should arrive Monday. So sorry about that little bit of delay, but it is on its way. So Kenny's he's thinking about a reverse taper barrel. So yeah, that would be interesting. So it's going to go from skinny to fat.
Right. Looks like that barrel that's on your gun that you got on layaway. That
Yeah.
looked like a reverse taper to me.
Let's see if I can pull it back up here.
Sure looks reverse taper to me. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe it does look like it gets fatter as it goes out towards the tuner, don't it?
Yeah, if you go all the way back there by the chamber, look,
Yeah,
it does look like it.
You don't need that thing.
Well, that's what my wife says about all of them.
He's going to make one for a Mark II.
That's what my wife says about all of them. But you know,
Right, mine too, brother.
It ain't a need; it's a want.
Right.
There you go.
Hey, Nibs.
Yeah, got Nibs over there in the side chat from Walnut and Steel.
Hey, buddy.
What I guess my next question, only about 3 of us is going to answer. So, and I don't think that there's a best out there. From what I'm hearing, most all tuners work. I did see Kenny in the side chat say to stay away from the ones that have the set screws that tighten in against the barrel. Mine is a clamp style that's got the screw goes through and just it squeezes. I don't think there's a best brand out there. I think all of them pretty much share the same concept. Do you agree with that, Dave and George?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kenny what was that? Kenny said something there. The idea of the reverse, the idea of the reverse taper is for the button rifle barrels. When you turn a button barrel down, it can open the bore, keeping it thick. Contour at the muzzle allows a choke. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if a rimfire ain't got a choke close to the end of it or right at the end of it, it's not going to shoot well.
Right, that should be your tightest spot, right?
Right.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead.
While I'm thinking about it, because I'll forget it. When you buy a tuner, a slip over tuner, make damn sure that it's a tight fit before you tighten up the screws. The bore of the tuner itself on the clamp on type like I use, it has to very closely match the barrel before you ever tighten the screw. If it's like got wobble to it, when you slide, you're hurting from the beginning. You can make it work, but it won't work as well.
Because it ain't true. It ain't.
Well, you're not getting the harmonics dampened right.
Yeah.
Right, and you know how when something clamps, it's going to clamshell type instead of round.
It goes
That makes
catawampus.
sense.
Yep.
In an oval shape instead of being round. Yeah. So when
Nib,
you buy a tuner, get it matched to the end of your barrel.
Or have it fitted by a machinist.
yep. Yeah, when Justin he done mine, he took my barrel and he fitted it to my barrel. Like I said, I don't even have to use the set screw. It fits so snug. Um, Nibs says he's traveling to an air gun show. I bet he brings some home with him.
He'll rescue some.
Yeah, he's going to rescue some air guns. So, all right, guys, we're going to move on to our final topic, and this is kind of like an open discussion. You guys can have the floor for a minute or two and talk about your practices here. Um, I know all of you have come across a rifle that just would not do what you want it to. So, what I'm looking for here is when you get out of a rifle that just ain't doing what you want it to do, uh, where do you start? What do you do? I mean, uh, and I got some examples like do you slug the barrel? You check the barrel to see if it's got tight spots. Uh, do you lap the barrel? Do you polish your chamber? Do you try recrowning? Uh, It's you got a rifle, you've shot it, you've tried all kinds of ammo, and you just cannot get the thing to perform. What's your go-to methods? What's your tricks you have up your sleeve that you use to try to find that accuracy in that rifle? And before I move on to anybody, Kenny's got something in the side chat there. Says stick on wheel weights. It's easy to see if your barrel is going to react.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave, what do you do? Are you awake, Dave?
I am.
Okay. What do you do when you got a rifle that won't shoot? Tell us some of your practices.
Well, you're not going to believe this probably, but the first thing I do is I try a different scope because the scopes, like a Night Force weighs 42 ounces and a Citron weighs about 10 ounces less, and some of the Vortexes weigh even less. And I change the rings from steel rings to aluminum rings to change the harmonic balance. That's the first thing I do and see if that helps. The torque, now that's assuming that I've already tried the torque on the front screw and the rear screw. I usually start in 14 ounces, you know, and then go on the front screw, change that a little bit until I get up to 40 ounces. After 40, then I'll increase the back one a little bit and start back at 14 again and go up a couple ounces each time to see if that'll change it. And I see somebody said about free floating. I guarantee you, my barrels have enough gap around there. You can stick a folded up target 4 or 5 times around it. There's no doubt. There's plenty of airflow around my barrels. And those are the two I go with first. And then if that doesn't do it, usually when I build a new gun, the crown is perfect. And I don't worry about shooting until I get a lot of rounds through them. I just go out and shoot them. You know, I actually take a brick of ammo along and I shoot 100 rounds, clean it, shoot 100 rounds, clean it, shoot 100 rounds till I get 800-900 rounds through one. Then I start shooting good ammo and to see how it wants to shoot. And really, I change the scopes first, and then I start the torquing, and then I do the tuner. That's the series I do. Does it work? It seems to work for me.
Yeah. So Tommy Boy also says that he checks the firing pin depth. and the shape of the tip also for ignition purposes. And so, John Fox, what do you do? I know you've recently had some experiences with some rifles that didn't work. So, what are some things you tried before you just gave up on them?
Well, the first thing I do is just look at the barrel and see if there's something totally out of the way. Now, or scoping the barrel can be misleading because I've seen barrels that look really bad and shot really good. But the three main things you want to look for is you want to look at the chamber, the throat, and the crown. And if those all look good, and the rest of the barrel don't look so good, it might shoot good. But the action torque, whether the stock needs to be bedded, and as far as firing pins go, I'll tell you something I did to my Tika. I took the bolt apart, and the actual hammer, Tika calls it a cocking piece. Where it rides inside the bolt, the inside of the bolt when they machined it out had a bunch of high spots. And once you get the spring removed, you could move that back and forth in there. You can feel it hanging up. So I polished that all out real good and took all the high spots out where it was just smooth as butter. And when I went and shot it the next time, I noticed that I didn't have as many fires, or they weren't as bad as what they used to be at tightening them up, because I was getting more consistent ignition. It had been getting hung up in there, and it wasn't letting the firing pin go forward with the same amount of force every time. That's one thing that can really help your gun shoot better. If you're not getting consistent ignition on your ammunition, it will definitely keep you from being consistent with your shot placement. So I do that, and I stiffen up my stock any way that I can and add weight to it, just to hold it still, help hold it still when I'm aiming it. And for me, just finding the ammo that shoots good out of it. Once I do all those things and it still doesn't shoot really good, I might try the shaft collars or something like that. But normally, if you go through all those steps and it's still not shooting good, you just don't have a good shooting rifle. It's time to look for something different.
So I see Kenny in the side chat says many people forget to replace the firing pin spring. He said at a Lapua test center, they changed one out during the test, and it changed the results of the rifle from lots that did horrible to the best shooting. And that's something I wouldn't have thought of. The firing pin spring got weak, and it changed the results. So I guess that would be ignition issues. So um, I I have I have an issue with giving up too soon. A lot of people, if the rifle ain't shooting, they get discouraged and they quit. And I feel like that if I haven't shot several hundred rounds through that rifle yet, then it's not worth giving up on. And you know, I've had some rifles that I was really questioning them out the gate. Um, but as I shot more through them, they started to come around. I started to find out whether or not they like to be clean or they like to be dirty. Uh, um, I got some rifles that like to be absolutely clean to be accurate, and I got some of them that like to be fouled. So you have to get familiar with your rifle, know your rifle. Uh, but kind of some of the things that John and Dave's already said, I bore scoped the barrel. I checked the the lands and the grooves in the chamber and look at the crown. I have uh, I have had a 10-22 rifle that wouldn't shoot, and I shimmed the barrel. Uh, couldn't get couldn't get that to work by changing the headspace. I ended up taking the barrel off, and sadly, it was a kid barrel, a kid competition grade barrel. Would not shoot. I threw every ammo that I could throw at it, and I could not get accuracy out of that rifle. And I took the barrel and had it recrowned, and didn't have the barrel cut off. I just had it cut back just enough to recrown it. And after it was recrowned, that rifle was probably one of the best shooting 10-22s that I own. Um, but there was definitely something wrong with the crown. So I've never done any slugging. I've never done any barrel lapping. Um, I have polished a chamber, um, and I typically just use a mop and some JB board paste, and I'll put it in there and try to polish the chamber just a little bit. But I've never like ran it down a complete barrel, and just shooting a gun a lot and getting familiar with the rifle, I think helps a lot. But I'm gaining some information here though, because Dave, I'd have never thought about the weight of the rings and the scope, throwing the equal balance off. Um, John Fox, something you didn't bring up, and we didn't talk a whole lot about, but uh, you did bring it up. But John got the idea of trying shaft collars on his barrel, and he's got a Tika T1X, and he's been shooting these challenge targets, and those shaft collars seems to have helped his rifle enough to where I know here lately I've seen him ace at least two of those targets. So uh, they work. Uh, it's basically the same thing as a tuner. So, and then I have resorted to tuners, and tuners, they do work. I've seen it. So, Justin, what's your uh, what's your go-to methods?
Um, kind of a loaded question, and you can take it a bunch of different ways. But I guess if I'm ammo testing, um, it depends on the chamber of that the rifle's chambered for, on what kind of ammo it's going to like. But just try different ammos, different lots, and try to find what the gun likes and go from there. If if it shoots something pretty decent, kind of go that direction, then maybe start torquing action screws and try fouling it versus clean, and maybe the trigger is the issue, or the bedding. You go down a bunch of different rabbit holes chasing accuracy, of course. But once you've got the trigger the way you want it, and got it riding in bags the way you want it and all that, I would try every option before I'd start machining on the gun, changing the crown or something like that. I try every avenue possible before I'd even consider rebarreling or something like that.
Mike, besides duct tape, what do you use?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I really can honestly say I've only ever had one rifle, a rimfire, that I had issues with that would even like make me want to go down this rabbit hole of even chasing stuff. Obviously, checking the torque on the action screws, and then let me find a different ammo. But I did all that. But this one rifle, I gave up on it. It was a seven. It was a Mark II with the thumb hole in it, the stainless 20 whatever something inch barrel. But it was 17 HMR, and I was chasing that flat trajectory and that, but I think what probably killed that for me, and I finally just sold that rifle off, was that there just isn't a lot of ammo choices to pick and choose from with that. But I had it in my head, and this was a few years ago now, but I was like, wow, if I can make, these 22 shoot this good, what can I should be able to light, matches, at 50 yards with the 17 HMR, right? Well, that wasn't the case. High velocity, but it's not an accurate cartridge. So at least it wasn't for me.
George, I know you've had some rifles that wouldn't shoot.
Yeah, just sell 'em.
You just sell them.
My
Let it-
man, that's the
Let
way
it
to
be the
do it.
next person's problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty
Lord.
much, I pretty much do the same thing everybody else is talking about. Mess with the action screws a little bit and slug the barrel. See if maybe it needs cut and crowned. And, Dave's talking about moving the scopes a while ago. I wished I'd have shot some groups. Um, I shot some before. Well, I might be able to make something out of it. I don't know, but I put that Bausch and Lomb Bevelar. Dave sent me a base, saved me there. He sent me a base so I could put that Bevelar on there, and it tightened up groups 1/10 of an inch. That Bevelar did. Just changing the vibration of that barrel. Because I'm using barrel blocks. When you mount it like that, it cut 1/10 off the groups.
Nice.
So one thing that I did not hear brought up, and I'm surprised that I didn't hear it brought up, and this will change accuracy. It has for me um, a better trigger. If you're
I
trying
kind
to
of brought
find,
it up.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
I brought it up.
Yeah. So if you well, I wasn't paying attention to you.
Like always.
Yeah. Uh, man, yeah,
Yeah, remember that next time you need something machined.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You're really going to cost him.
he knows how it is. uh, we're range buddies. He he but he does have a good point about triggers. I've had guns that would not shoot. For me, I had a heavy trigger in them, and I changed the trigger, and I'm like, wow, can't believe that made that big of a difference. So,
There's something that I was wanting to say. I tried to type it in on the side chat, and my side chat got messed up. Kenny over at Eagle Eye Shooting is the one that gave me the idea for the shaft collars. He actually sent me the link to Amazon for the size and the number of collars to put on my Tika. And it took a good shooting rifle over the edge and made it an extremely good shooting rifle. And I just wanted to give Kenny the credit for that because it was his idea in the first place.
yeah.
He's the one that
Yeah,
told me about it.
honestly, I've done small engine repair all my life, and I've been around shaft collars and never even thought about it. And that's a great idea. I mean, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just weight on the end of the barrel to
Yeah.
attain harmonics.
See, TJ Fishing jumping on from over in Australia. Glad to have you on, buddy. But,
They tune theirs backwards over there.
yeah, they tune backwards over there. They shoot upside down. Well, that's pretty much all the topics I have for tonight. I knew it was going to be a little bit of a short show, but it was kind of intentional. I'm getting up in the morning and going turkey hunting, so we're going to go around the room and close this thing down. I know Mike was talking about he needed to jump out early, and George said he might have to get off early, so we'll go around the room and let everybody talk about what they got coming up and anything new they got coming to their channel. And we'll close this thing down for tonight. The goal has always been to keep it around an hour to an hour and a half, and we're approaching an hour and 10 minutes. So, time we get around the room, we'll probably be right around that hour and a half mark. So, Hillbilly, you go first, buddy. What you got coming up?
Yeah. First, the one topic that I could say something on, you skipped me there last.
Oh, that's what I got you here for, to keep me in line, buddy.
Nah, I mean, I was going to joke anyhow, but yeah, shooting right-handed, that don't work. I try left-handed, and that don't work. I get a better scope. Then I'm with George, sell it if, still ain't shooting good. But no, I kind of, Rimfire Dave, what he was talking about, putting several rounds to it, you know, cleaning it and stuff, and then trying to, you know, then start trying some different ammo. For me, I've seen that really kind of helps, and actually saves some money, you know, too. And as far as trying to start off with some expensive stuff. But anyway, always I had a great time tonight, guys. Listening to everybody and everything. A lot of great stuff out there.
We
We
made
got
it through a show.
Yeah, without getting booted.
Yeah, we didn't get booted.
yeah. Oh man. Um. Yeah. Yeah. You're right there, Tommy boy. The High Point AR. You betcha. Would love to try that. But yeah, we got Guns, Beer, and Therapy coming up tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. So if you ain't doing anything, swing by and visit us. We just try to have a good time there. And then I got a few videos coming out, of course, every week here and there. So yeah, appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you doing this. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here, man. You're the technical technical guru that helped me get all this
Yes, sir.
started. So,
Well, that's not saying a lot for you when you got a hillbilly as a tech guy.
well,
We're all hillbillies, hillbilly.
we're all hillbillies, buddy.
Yeah, I know. But
We're getting through it. We're getting through
we're
it.
making it.
Long as we can keep from being outlaws, we, you know.
Outlaw
Uh,
hillbillies.
yeah. George, what you got coming up, buddy? You got some martini videos, or
When I get a chance to make some, I've had some setbacks this week, so I ain't got a chance to make much of anything.
yeah,
But yeah, we got a bunch of martini stuff coming. Hopefully,
well, that Annie you was shooting on the other day sure was a pretty rifle.
yeah. Boy, that rifle's just a good one. It shoots just about anything you put in. It shoots pretty good. That day I shot it, the wind was just kicking, buddy. You can hear it in the microphone, I think.
Hmm.
But anyway, I'll give it a fair chance. That where we're stretching it out, doing that 100-yard stuff. I'm gonna try to give everything. Of course, we got a long time to do it, so I ain't getting in a hurry about turning in a video until I get everything lined out the way I want it.
Well, these next two guys right here, I'm gonna let them talk at each other because right now they're rivals.
Oh gosh.
Mike, what you got going on, buddy? You got some 100-yard open sights work to do, or what?
I got. I'm taking kind of a page out of your book here. Lately, Chad. I've had a bunch of material stacked up that I hadn't gotten to, so I did a little bit of working on some videos, and I've got something that'll be dropping tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and then 2 days from that at 6 a.m. and then 2 days from that. So I'm trying to kind of get ahead of instead of okay, I'm gonna just put this out day after day, and have all that content close together. So there is some 100-yard challenge stuff coming. There's some more 416 target stuff coming. There's some more iron sight stuff coming. There's some more. I think tomorrow's video is going to be Day at the Range's 100-yard challenge with my 1022 that I haven't shot in a long time. So I took that back out to the range. So yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. And then the other big thing I got is I'm 2 weeks out now from my long gong match. And if you're still on here in the side chat and watching, Kenny, I just want to say thank you to you and Ashley for the CZ bolt upgrade kits that you guys sent me for the prize table. So I really do appreciate that. So
Yep, that's
Cool.
awesome. Awesome.
It is.
Yeah, man, I wished I could come to that. That's something. That's a goal of mine. Maybe next year or the next time you have one. But um, yeah, Mike, scheduling ahead's the best thing I ever figured out on YouTube because it's a lot less stressful. And when you sit down to edit one, you don't feel pressured to get something done, get it out. And then my big thing with scheduling them, what helped me was I was having storage issues on my iPad and my iPhone because I'm using Apple products. And so when I schedule one, I put it on my iPad, I edit it, I save it, then I upload it, schedule it, and once it's scheduled on YouTube, then I save it back to an external hard drive, get it off my iPad, and I free that space back up on my iPad so I'm ready for the next video, and I'm not fighting with storage issue that way. So
Yeah, and
that's one.
something that Cyclops Joe told me probably 6 months ago or something. He bugged me one day out of the blue and he said, "Mike, you're dropping too much content too close together. You're not letting the algorithm have time to to really kind of help you promote it and stuff like that." And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm impatient. I just want to get it done. And I was also on that adrenaline rush of, oh, look, there's likes. People are seeing it. They're commenting. They're liking. The likes dropped off. I got to put another one out today, type of a thing. So, and I see the fault in that because ones where I have put it out there and I've let it sit out there with tags and stuff in it, and I don't release it for 2 weeks. Those are the videos that get 500-600 views instead of only 200 views or something. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I I try to stay at 2 a week. He told me the same thing. He was like, "Man, just put out one a week." Well, it's easy to do when you got as many followers as him and you get as many views as you do. But when I'm not even at 1,000 yet, so it's hard to just put out one a week and sit and wait on views because they're just not there. I mean, maybe when I get a little bigger, I can cut back some more. But I figure with 2 videos a week plus my live, that's 3 times a week. You guys get to see Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies, and that's good enough. So,
you know,
Justin, what you got going on, buddy?
Well, hopefully the weather permits in the morning to go turkey hunting. Um, Yet to see how that's going to fare. Got a defensive pistol match tomorrow. If it don't get rained out, I'm gonna try to shoot some of these challenge targets if weather permits. Um, Going back to that topic about procedures of getting a gun to shoot. Um, Sometimes it's a good idea to ask a buddy for his input. Or just get a fresh set of eyes to look at what's going on with it. It could be something so obvious that you're overlooking, why the gun ain't shooting.
Yeah,
Um,
point taken.
yeah. So me and Chad, we've.
See, he's paying me back already. Right there. That
I mean,
that
in all
that little
seriousness,
stab I took at him
yeah.
earlier, he's stabbing me back right now. So, all right, I got a Springfield 2020. I shot all kinds of ammo through it. The only reason I got this rifle is I knew they had issues, and I wanted to try to be the guy to find it. I bought it reasonable enough. I shot it. I put suppressor on the end of it. I took the suppressor off of it. I tried a barrel dampener. I tried all sorts of stuff, and it was almost there, but just not quite. And Justin walks up, and in about 30 seconds, he goes, "Hey, Chad, did you notice this thing's shaving lead? There's a pile of lead in the bottom of the chamber." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's shaving lead." So I started single feeding this rifle, and there's videos coming on all this. But I started single feeding this rifle, and I think that I have shot a Springfield 2020 better than anyone I've ever seen on YouTube by by
Yeah.
single feeding the bullet.
If he had not have shot all that ammo that session and me seen the lead, he still wouldn't know it. So, a fresh set of eyes is what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, so thank you, Justin. You guys, phone a friend. Phone a friend.
you should have just not said anything. Let him take it back down to the gun shop, trade it in on some other vintage rifle
No, because
that he found there.
I'd
Then you
already
follow up, go
said.
in and buy it, and then you do a video of you single shooting it.
Mm-mm. No, because I'm a man
we're
of
on
my
the
word.
same team.
I'm a man of my word, and I'd already said in my video that this is my rifle from now on, regardless. I will not give it to nobody else. I won't let it be anybody else's problem. So it was for testing purposes, and I feel like it was successful. Now,
So
it ain't no competition rifle, but they advertise it as a target rifle, and I feel like that when you're single feeding it, it's a target rifle. It's I shot a challenge target with it. I shot Hillbilly's challenge target with it, and Hillbilly, what did I drop on there? Two.
I believe so. Yeah.
I dropped two out of a possible. How many
11.
shot?
It's 20,
There's 20 shots on there. I dropped
20
two.
total shots.
Yeah, I dropped two. That's not bad for a
Factory rifle.
cheap rifle.
Yeah.
So,
When it's guaranteed an inch at 50 yards.
yeah, the tag it comes with it guarantees a 1 inch 3-shot group at 50 yards, which is crazy. That's ridiculous. All right, moving on. John Fox, what you got coming up with?
Well, like I said, my son, he acquired a pair of BMRX, and we got some, upgrade parts coming for it and scope. And he's down right now with a real bad bout of diverticulitis. He's very sick. So I'm going to try to have his gun fixed up for him, ready to shoot when he gets to feeling better. I've done a few things to my rifle, acquired a new rest, and got a new trigger for it. And just going to try to shoot some more groups and see what kind of ammo shoots good out of both of those rifles, and try to get both of them ready to do some shooting so me and him can go out and shoot together and have some fun.
Look, this next guy here, I'm gonna let him tell me what he's got coming up. I want him to flash what's going on my new rifle. You still got it laying there, Dave?
I do.
Show it off.
Purdy.
Awesome.
It's just a stock.
Huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
just
is not a firearm.
It's just a stock. Yeah.
just a stock. That's it. 3-inch.
Yep.
Dang.
With
Looking
an
good.
aluminum block, too.
Is it for a Savage Mark II?
Yeah. No.
No.
No. I've ordered an action. I've got a trigger. I got
Still
my
need a barrel.
tuner. Only thing I got to get is a barrel.
We'll go hand select one maybe.
Yeah. Justin has a connection. The same guy that's making those rests that we did a video on, he's also good friends with the owner of Douglas Barrels. And Justin's going to try to get us a factory tour at Douglas Barrels and see if we can't hand select our barrels.
Mm.
Cool.
Take a big backpack with you.
Full of money.
Or a trench coat. One of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got videos scheduled all the way up to July. I got Springfield 2020 videos coming out. I got Justin shooting at 100 yards open sights. I got Justin shooting at 200 yards open sights. I got a follow-up video on my Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. I got a video coming out on my Summit action, which is a push-pull action that's like a 1022. I got another video of me and Justin and Vince shooting 100 yards. Yeah, I got quite a bit of stuff, and I've also got a video coming out of my BSA Century, which is an old Boy Scout training rifle that I bought from
Young
an
man.
online auction, and when I got it, it was rougher than a cob on the stock. It looked horrible, but I thought, well, if the gun will shoot good, the stock will be worth refinishing. So I finally broke down and sanded the stock down. Justin took it, and it had some holes in it. I don't know why those holes were there, but it did have some holes in it. So Justin plugged those holes, and in the bottom of the forearm. It had a channel in it where it used to have a rail system in the bottom of it, and they had took that out and left wood glue in it and all that crap, and it was nasty looking. Anyways, we refinished that stock and put that rifle back together, and I put a scope on it for the first time, and I shot some ridiculous groups with it today. And I shot 5 different types of ammo out of it, and it shot them all very well.
Cool.
So I'm excited to take that to the range and shoot it in competition because I feel like it's going to be a competitive level gun. And there's a video coming up on that rifle as well, so stay tuned for that. Guys, thanks for joining us here at Let's Talk Benchrest with Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. I appreciate every one of you in the side chat. I appreciate all of you on the panel. And again, we don't claim to know it all. We're just here to share what we know, and sometimes we don't know much at all. So don't hold us accountable for that. And come back and join us next week. We might know a little more by then. Everybody say good night. Good night,
Good night,
all.
everybody.
Good night, all.
Thanks for coming out.